Counterfeiting, a problem that takes many forms, ranging from currency, clothing, and even the drugs you buy from the store or the streets. Counterfeiting is a major problem in the world today. In 2014, over $1 billion in goods were seized in the US alone. Today, we will be discussing the problems and the effects of counterfeiting in the US and on its citizens. I'm Riley McKnight, and this is Dynamic Documentaries. The problem with counterfeiting money is that it devalues the US dollar. The more counterfeits in the system, the less the dollar is worth. Perpetrators are finding new ways to pass off fake bills as real currency. While drugs and clothing are often faked, the most common way of counterfeiting would be in the form of checks, fake IDs, and credit or debit cards.
Check fraud, counterfeit checks. Someone will Xerox copy somebody's checks, or they'll wash the check, try to get the information other than the person's signature removed, and then they'll write in different amounts and things like that. That's probably a slightly bigger problem for us in Norman, rather than somebody who just tries to create a fake $10 or $20 or $50 bill. Fraud is pretty frequent, it happens fairly often. As far as trying to counterfeit a check or steal a check, it happens a few times a month probably. Preventing this kind of crime is like preventing any kind of crime. It's basically, don't leave your checkbook in your car. Very common for someone to see a checkbook, a wallet, a purse sitting on the front seat of a car, and they'll break into that car. Or if you take your checkbook, your wallet, your purse into the house at night instead of leaving it in the car overnight, you won't get your car broken into. So I would say just basic common sense type things like that is probably the best way to make sure you don't get your check stolen and then counterfeited.
The most common misconception about counterfeiting is that it only applies to money, when in reality, it takes many forms. The problem we have locally is fake IDs.
Most people don't realize that fake IDs are serious criminal offenses that can stay with you for a lifetime. Consequences can include losing your driver's license privileges for up to 1 year. Also, making or having the equipment to make a counterfeit driver's license is a second-degree felony.
A lot of different ways people get fake IDs. Some people will go down to the flea market. I know there are flea markets that sell identification. And on the back of those, in order for the flea market to legally sell those, on the back of them in a certain type of print, and I forget how large the type has to be, it says not for identification. Somehow though, they'll still pass those to some doormen and get into drinking establishments so they can party, essentially. Another thing that some of them do, we'll have a friend who's 21, 22 years old, and they'll borrow their ID. Of course, it's a real ID, but for them it's fake. It's providing them with a fictitious identification so that they can again go out and go drinking. And then some will go and tell the DPS person who will take your picture that they lost their ID. And they might take somebody else's birth certificate and they'll have a fake ID made. The first two instances I described are basically misdemeanors. That last one is a felony.
Fake IDs can be a form of counterfeiting. However, in our increasingly technological world, credit cards, social security numbers, and passwords create a new problem and are no longer safe from hackers, scams, and when you're shopping in-store and online. In 2013, Target became a victim of a major security breach, in which 40 million credit and debit cards became compromised. The information that the attackers gained were access to customer names, credit card or debit card numbers, card expiration dates, and CVV security codes. Security breaches often involve hacking into a company's servers and making off with the data. Things like this unfortunately happen too often. A 2007 security breach at TJ Maxx resulted in the theft of card numbers and personal data for roughly 90 million customers. Additionally, more than 160 million credit and debit card numbers were stolen from companies including JCPenney, 7-Eleven, JetBlue, and Home Depot. As you can see, counterfeiting is a problem that is relevant in today's society. Counterfeiting can be totally stopped, but by making consequences more severe, raising public awareness, and by being on the lookout for fakes and suspicious activity, we can help fight against counterfeiting. What can you do to help fight this problem? By sharing what you've learned today, and also by checking everything that you buy. Show your support by using the hashtag #Don'tBeFake or the hashtag #CounterCounterfeiting. This has been Dynamic Documentaries. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.